The name Pennhurst evokes a sense of dread and unease in those familiar with its dark history. Once a state school and hospital for the mentally and physically disabled, Pennhurst Asylum has become infamous as one of the most haunted locations in the United States. The sprawling complex, located in Spring City, Pennsylvania, holds a legacy of neglect, abuse, and tragedy, with stories of suffering that have led many to believe the site is now home to restless spirits. The true horror of Pennhurst lies not only in the paranormal activity that allegedly occurs within its walls, but also in the grim reality of the lives that were once lived there. The history of Pennhurst Asylum. Pennhurst State School and Hospital, originally known as the Eastern Pennsylvania State Institution for the Feeble-Minded and Epileptic, opened its doors in 1908. It was designed to be a self-sufficient community where individuals with mental and physical disabilities could be housed, educated, and trained in various skills. However, from the outset, Pennhurst was overcrowded and underfunded, setting the stage for decades of mistreatment and neglect. By the 1920s, Pennhurst was already overcrowded, with more than 2,500 residents living in conditions that were far from ideal. The staff was overwhelmed, and the institution became more of a warehouse for the disabled than a place of care and rehabilitation. The patients, many of whom were children, were subjected to inhumane conditions, with reports of physical and emotional abuse becoming common. Over time, Pennhurst developed a reputation as a place of horror, where the most vulnerable members of society were left to suffer in silence. The situation at Pennhurst only worsened over the decades. By the 1960s, the institution was severely understaffed, and the patients were living in squalor. Investigations revealed that residents were often left unattended for long periods, with some being physically restrained or confined to their beds for days at a time. Medical care was inadequate, and many patients were subjected to experimental treatments that caused more harm than good. In 1968, a local television news station aired a documentary titled "Suffer the Little Children," which exposed the appalling conditions at Pennhurst. The documentary showed shocking footage of patients living in filth, enduring abuse from staff members, and being denied basic human dignity. The public outcry that followed led to a series of lawsuits against the institution, culminating in a landmark court case that ordered the closure of Pennhurst in 1987. The haunting of Pennhurst. After Pennhurst was closed, the buildings were abandoned, left to decay as nature slowly reclaimed the grounds. The once bustling institution became a ghost town, with empty halls, crumbling walls, and remnants of its dark past scattered throughout the complex. It didn't take long for rumors of hauntings to begin circulating, and Pennhurst soon became known as one of the most haunted locations in America. Visitors and paranormal investigators who have ventured into Pennhurst describe a chilling atmosphere that is almost palpable. The asylum is said to be haunted by the spirits of former patients who suffered and died within its walls, their restless souls unable to find peace. Among the reported phenomena are disembodied voices, shadowy figures, and the feeling of being watched or touched by unseen entities. One of the most common experiences reported at Pennhurst is the sound of children's laughter and cries echoing through the empty halls. Many believe these sounds are the voices of the young patients who lived and died in the asylum, their spirits still lingering in the place where they experienced so much pain. Others have reported hearing the sounds of footsteps, doors slamming shut on their own, and objects moving without explanation. The Mayflower Building, one of the most infamous structures on the Pennhurst grounds, is particularly known for its paranormal activity. Visitors have reported seeing apparitions of former patients, including a young girl who is said to roam the halls, as well as a malevolent spirit known as the King, who is believed to have been a former staff member. The building's basement is considered one of the most haunted areas, with reports of aggressive entities that have been known to push or scratch those who enter. Another area of the asylum that is notorious for its hauntings is the Quaker Building. This building housed some of the most severely disabled patients, many of whom endured unimaginable suffering. Paranormal investigators have captured numerous electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, in the Quaker Building, with voices pleading for help or crying out in pain. Some investigators have even reported being physically attacked by unseen forces while exploring the building. The paranormal investigations. Pennhurst's reputation as a haunted location has drawn the attention of many paranormal investigators and television shows. Over the years, the asylum has been featured on popular programs such as Ghost Adventures, paranormal lockdown, and ghost hunters. These investigations have produced a wealth of evidence that suggests something otherworldly is happening at Pennhurst. During a 2010 investigation by the Ghost Adventures team, the crew captured numerous e-beeps, including one that seemed to say, "We are Pennhurst." The investigators also experienced unexplained physical sensations, such as cold spots and the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. In another episode of Paranormal Lockdown, investigators Nick Groff and Katrina Weidman spent 72 hours inside the asylum, documenting shadow figures, unexplained noises, and a general feeling of unease that pervaded the entire site. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence to come out of Pennhurst is a video recording made by a group of paranormal investigators who captured what appears to be the apparition of a former patient. The figure, which resembles a young girl in a hospital gown, is seen standing in a hallway before disappearing into thin air. The video has been widely circulated among paranormal enthusiasts and is considered one of the most convincing pieces of evidence of the hauntings at Pennhurst. While skeptics argue that the stories of hauntings at Pennhurst are the result of overactive imaginations and the power of suggestion, the sheer volume of reports from visitors and investigators suggests that something truly strange is happening at the site. Whether these phenomena are the result of residual energy left behind by the suffering that occurred there or something more sinister, Pennhurst remains a place where the line between the living and the dead is blurred. The dark legacy of Pennhurst. While the haunting stories of Pennhurst are chilling, the true horror lies in the suffering endured by its patients. Neglect, abuse, and inhumane treatment mark a dark chapter in U.S. mental health care, highlighting the dangers of dehumanization. Legal battles after its closure led to significant improvements in disability care, with many former residents experiencing better lives in community settings. Today, Pennhurst serves as both a historical reminder and a site of reflection. Its dark legacy lingers, attracting visitors drawn to its eerie past, where the lines between the physical and spiritual worlds remain blurred. A haunting reminder. The story of Pennhurst Asylum is a powerful reminder of human suffering, neglect, and the chilling consequences of dehumanization. Whether or not one believes in ghosts, the horrors experienced by thousands within its walls are undeniably real. Today, Pennhurst stands as a haunting testament to the need for dignity and respect in all human care. Its decaying halls continue to captivate and terrify those who visit, serving as a place where history and horror intersect and where the lingering unease of its dark past is ever present. Thanks for watching.